Hey guys, this is Coach Matty McCaskill. I just wanted to take this time to break down Kanye's Jeen-Yuhs on Netflix. It's absolutely amazing. All right, so I'm gonna break down a couple of these points that I took away from this, and I highly recommend that you go and watch this documentary immediately. Okay, so point number one, Kanye's mother and Coodie, who shot the documentary, but was a big support system for him in the beginning, right? So you're not ever really doing it by yourself. There's some sort of motivation going on. There's negative motivation and positive motivation. The positive motivation obviously lasts a lot longer and is more beneficial to you, but there was some negative motivation that got Kanye going and essentially pushed his career to where we see it today. So that's the first thing, is that he had a great support system around him in the form of his mom, and Coodie was a support system for him. Coodie was the director of Jeen-Yuhs. That's the thing that I said. Point number two was Kanye knowing his vision, right? So Kanye essentially started producing music, but he always wanted to rap over his beats. You know, as a music producer, if you're the music producer songwriter, you usually kind of have to get in the door with producing the music. So it kind of pigeonholed him, and everyone knew him as being the dope producer, upcoming music producer. And nobody wanted to really listen to what he was saying. When he was like, yo, I'm a rapper. They were like, whatever. But he truly had that vision, and he stuck with that vision throughout the whole time when no one else believed that he had bars, that he was gonna put his bars together. So that was also another key point. So point number three, Kanye West made it a point to be in the room. When Jay-Z was recording the bounce for Blueprint number 2, he was like, Kanye was like, look, I'm gonna get into the room, I'm gonna rap for Jay-Z, I'm gonna keep rapping for Jay-Z so that Jay-Z knows that I have those skills. So Kanye was ready. He was ready when he hopped in the room, and Jay was like, you know what? I'm gonna put you on the album. And he even said it. Jay-Z even said it. He was like, yo, if you weren't here and you didn't rap what you did, you would definitely not be on this album. So he was on the Bounce, the Blueprint 2 album, Kanye was. So being ready. Point number 4. Kanye, after getting signed with Rockefeller Records, people still did not believe that Kanye was a talented rapper, right? So they were putting, record labels do this, they put their money and budget behind who they think can have a better ROI, the artist to have who has the better return of investment. So they weren't really trying to push Kanye West at all. He invested in himself and shot Through the Wire, right? The video Through the Wire, and got it. I think that's when they linked up with, Coodie linked up with Chike to do the Wire video. And they did the Wire video, right? And the rest is history. So Kanye was like, yo, y'all not putting out y'all not opening up my budget. Who cares? I'm about to do this myself because I absolutely believe in it, right? Point number 5, Kanye West's belief in himself being a genius is amazing, because I remember seeing something in the documentary where Rhymefest, the rapper, and collaborated with Kanye West. They were talking, this is before Kanye blows all the way up, and Kanye's like, yo, I'm a genius. And Rhymefest is like, yo, you can't call yourself no genius. You can't call yourself a genius. Other people have to call you a genius, but you can't call yourself a genius. Well, fast forward some years, Rhymefest, I remember seeing Rhymefest down in the Dominican Republic with now a really, really, really successful Kanye West. They're no longer on the same level anymore in terms of success, financial success. And Rhymefest definitely is like, yo, this is cold. And so I was just like, that's crazy, because Kanye knew that he was a genius back then and would prophesy that over himself. And the world confirmed that. Kanye also said something really interesting, is that he said he was at the Donda Foundation, an event for fundraising for Donda's foundation. And he said, I'm a genius, right? I'm the greatest that there ever has been. And he told the kids, you all need to think that you all are the greatest that has ever been. And with that sort of belief in oneself, you start making those movements like that, right? There's a fine line, between just the arrogance, but you kind of have to have a little bit of that arrogance to actually get the job done. But you need to get the job done to confirm that, right? So that was amazing to see Kanye saying that he's a genius, and then it actually coming to fruition. So prophesying over yourself is extremely amazing. And so point number 6, I wanted to talk about Coodie, the actual director of the documentary. Coodie had the wisdom to pivot. Before Coodie was doing the documentary on Kanye West, he had started doing Channel Zero, which was a public access television station in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. He was also doing comedy because Coodie was a comedian. But he had the wisdom. He was like, yo, something's up with this 19-year-old music producer, talking about Kanye West. And he was like, I'm gonna step out there on a chance. I have no idea what this is gonna end up being, but I'm gonna step out there on a chance and I'm going to document this guy. I just have a belief, in something great is gonna come from this guy, Kanye. And it did. That was amazing. Point 7, Coodie was persistent. Coodie invested in himself and said, listen, I don't know who Kanye West exactly, where the story's going to end, but I gotta invest my own money in this. So whenever, especially in the beginning, whenever Kanye moved to New York, Coodie essentially bought himself a ticket and moved out to New York. And went out to New York. I don't know if he moved, but he went out to New York and would just follow Kanye around, right? And all of this chronicling of Kanye West, when Kanye broke his jaw, when Kanye is, in the studio, Kanye's, going to Rock Nation label and petitioning for them to, sign him. I think this was before he even got signed, but was petitioning him to get signed as an artist. Coodie was right there with the camera. Coodie was like, yo, I'm going to invest in myself, because I'm sure Kanye did not have a budget to pay Coodie at all. Again, back to the faith part, and seeing the vision even before it came to fruition. Point number 8, talking about Coodie's positive outlook, his calm, his faith in his beliefs, his faith in the Most High, his grounding, his spiritual grounding allowed him to continue to document Kanye, even when Kanye got on some Hollywood stuff, right? This is when Kanye's becoming successful. Kanye gets on some Hollywood stuff like a lot of people. The money brings out who you naturally were, before you had money. So if you were an ass prior to having money, not having no money might have made you humble, but once you got that bread, you're gonna be the biggest ass that you can possibly be. Kanye was like, yo, I wanna do Jesus Walks, the music video for Jesus Walks, but I wanna have Hype Williams. Coodie was really hurt about that, because he was like, yo, I did Through the Wire with you. We need to repeat that success, right? And Kanye was like, nah, I want to get somebody bigger than that. Coodie was hurt by it, but he said, hey, listen, you know what? He was like, look, man, I know you, Kanye, laughing, but he was like, you gonna have it directed and be like, yo, this ain't what I want, and you're gonna come back and, and holler at me and say, Coodie, I need you to shoot the video. And that's exactly what happened. So, Coodie's patience, throughout this whole process, and just persistence and understanding that, look, even working with Kanye isn't the end all. I am invested in this new pivot of becoming a film director. He didn't let Kanye being Kanye bother him. He said, listen, let the chips fall where they may. I'm not even gonna get angry about it and spend time with that. I'm going to essentially do what Kanye West was doing. I'm gonna make my own way. So that was really, really, really important. Number 9, Coodie's consistency allowed Kanye to be able to trust him, right? So especially when Kanye's mother passes away and a little bit after that time. So you need those grounding people around you, later on in life, especially when you're trying to navigate through this this plasticky sort of fake world, which, the media and Hollywood, definitely is infamous for promoting. They love you when you up, and they really, really, really drag you when you're down. Coodie ended up being one of those factors to ground Kanye, right? And he did that because he stayed consistent the whole way through. He just wanted to make sure that Kanye knew he actually had a real brother in Coodie. Truly being compassionate with people is how Coodie ended up being along on the journey. Kanye ends up calling him later on, time and time after Kanye has separated for years at a time. After Kanye was like, I want to go with a whole different team, but he ended up going back to Coodie, and I thought that was very, very, very important. And number 10, Coodie's faith, Coodie's vision, Coodie's wisdom, again, to pivot from the comedy, Coodie's faith just to invest in himself, hanging out with Kanye West, documenting the journey 20 years ago. And not even forgetting Chike, because Chike has been a part, it's been Coodie and Chike working together as film directors. But Coodie's vision 20 years ago is why we're sitting here talking about this Jeen-Yuhs documentary right now. That to me is extremely amazing, because throughout the whole process, you don't get necessarily paid all the time from documenting a story unless there's a big budget behind. Hey, we're gonna, you're National Geographic or something like that. Some major company wants to fund a documentary, right? Then they hire a director. But when you got to do this thing like independently, it takes so much faith. It takes so much belief, so much manifesting to actually get this stuff done. So my final thoughts about this was the drive, in Coodie and Kanye has been absolutely amazing. And it is what it takes to get to your level of success, to go past those sleepless nights, to find ways when there are no ways, when there seemingly are no ways, to create situations or opportunities for yourself when there ain't there's no foreseeable opportunities going on. Jeen-Yuhs gave me, because I'm a Kanye West fan, in terms of music production, just in terms of music production, right? And some of the stuff that Kanye believes in, I do, but a lot of stuff, Kanye be doing, I don't necessarily believe in. Just from a music producer standpoint, I had lost a lot of faith in Kanye West and where he was going. He was just getting real too Hollywood for me, right? And this Jeen-Yuhs documentary really gave me an inside look and was like, Kanye's just been navigating life like everybody else, right? But on a major amplified place that we don't necessarily understand. I ain't gonna pretend like I've been in front of hundreds of thousands of people, got social media, got paparazzi all up my, always shooting. I have no privacy in my life. We don't know what that looks like. So this documentary gave an inside look at what Kanye West's life was looking like. And it just, again, it restored me as being a fan, of Kanye West. I give that documentary, honestly, like a 10 out of 10. And everybody needs to go watch it right now. I'm Coach Matty McCaskill. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you saw that documentary, what points stood out to you? Yeah, just I want to see what's up with the chat. If you are a fan of Kanye, if you never even heard of Coodie and Chike, what were some of your favorite parts in that documentary? Please go watch that documentary now. All right, peace.